Assalamu alaikum, and I am James L. And I'm coming to address tonight what's going on, this foolishness, this negativity about Moorish World TV and about www.rvbaypublications.com, about the mothers, Rosemary Bay, Mother Anita L, my brother Cujo IYL, brother Miz, the whole Dominus Nation, brother Taj Tariq Bay, the master teacher. This situation not cool. Yeah, we are Moors, but there's a difference between a Moor and a Moriscos. There's a difference. So the topic I would like to elaborate on tonight and go in on to speak some truth and facts is called, what is yellow journalism? What is yellow journalism? And before I even go into that, I would like to say something from the 101 questionnaire. Who made you? Answer, Allah. Who is Allah? Allah is the Father of the universe. Can we see him? No. Where is the nearest place you can meet him? In the heart. All right. www.rvbaypublications.com, not productions. That's disrespectful. I don't like it. That's not cool. That's disrespecting the mothers. And we are about the matriarch, not patriarch. Let's get that straight right now. First and foremost, so you will know that I am a son of Allah. And I respect my mothers, because if it weren't for the mothers, we wouldn't be here. I'm all about unity, but I'm not about foolishness or foolery. That's what I'm not about, or coonery. I'm not gonna call you a nigga because the prophet said call you dirty Moors. So I follow the prophet. Or statements and prophecies of Prophet Noble Jew Ali, Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali, that is, my brother. And that's to the whole squad. The whole squad. rvbaypublications.com. Let's do some reading. An actual book. Let's do some reading. See what it says. The greatest weapon in the hands of our group today is America. Is our press. The truth will never be told about a disadvantaged minority by the general press of any country, whether the minority be racial, political, or religious, unless we express ourselves through papers of our own. The truth about us will not be told. Our papers are our only hope of shoveling ourselves out from under the avalanche of lies that are endlessly let loose upon us. A strong free press is the best possible safeguard of the liberties in general, promotion and defense of the interests of a strong free people. Prophet Noble Jew Ali. The prophet's words. Now, source. Actually went up and searched, looked it up, seeking ye shall find. Because we are self-governed people. Islam, our self-law master, meaning that we're all leaders. There's no individual, just one, leading everybody else. Everybody is a leader themselves. Yeah. Office of Historian, and it says Department of State, United States of America, milestones 1866 through 1898. U.S. Diplomacy and Yellow Journalism, 1895 through 1898. Yellow journalism was a style of newspaper reporting that emphasized sensationalism over facts. During its heyday in the late 19th century, it was one of many factors that helped push the United States and Spain into war in Cuba and the Philippines, leading to the acquisition of overseas territory by the United States. Example of yellow journalism in the cover of the Pulitizer's World. The term originated in the competition over the New York City newspaper market between major newspaper publisher Joseph Pulitzer and William Randolph Hearst. At first, yellow journalism had nothing to do with reporting, but instead derived from a popular cartoon strip about life in New York slums called Hogan's Alley, drawn by Richard F. Alcott, published in color by Pulitzer's New York World. The comic's most well-known character came to be known as the Yellow Kid, and kid means goat. That's the etymology of that. Etymology means the origin or the meaning of words, or the study of the law and science of words. So every word has a meaning. So when you think you know what a word is, 9 times out of 10, you're connotatively using it and not having the denotation of it, meaning that you don't know what it signifies, marks, or labels what it is. Carrying on. And his popularity accounted in no small part for a tremendous increase in sales of the world. In 1896, in an effort to boost sales of his New York journal, Hearst hired Alcott away from Pulitzer, launching a fierce bidding war between the two publishers over the cartoonist. Hearst ultimately won this battle, but Pulitzer refused to give in and hired a new cartoonist to continue drawing the cartoon for his paper. This battle over the Yellow Kid and a greater market share gave rise to the term yellow journalism. Once the term had been coined, it extended to the sensationalist style employed by the two publishers in their profit-driven coverage of the world events, particularly developments in Cuba. Cuba had long been a Spanish colony and a revolutionary movement, which had been simmering on and off there for much of the 19th century, intensified during the 1890s. Many in the United States called upon Spain to withdraw from this island, and some even gave material support to the Cuban revolutionaries. Hearst and Pulitzer devoted more and more attention to the Cuban struggle for independence at times, accentuating the harshness of Spanish rule or the nobility of the revolutionaries, and occasionally printing rousing stories that proved to be false, which is the opposite of truth, or the evidence of truth, falsehood. Thus, sort of coverage complete with bold headlines and creative drawings of events sold a lot of papers for both publishers. The peak of yellow journalism, in terms of both intensity and influence, came in early 1898 when the U.S. battleship, the Maine, sunk in Havana Harbor. The naval vessel had been sent there not long before in a display of the U.S. power and in conjunction with the planned visit of the Spanish ship to New York, an effort to diffuse growing tensions between the United States and Spain. On the night of February 15th, an explosion tore through the ship's hull, and the Maine went down. Sober observers and initial report by the colonial government of Cuba concluded that the explosion had occurred on board, and Hearst and Pulitzer, who had for several years been selling papers by fanning anti-Spanish public opinion in the United States, published rumors of plots to sink the ship. When the U.S. naval investigation later stated the explosion had come from a mine in the harbor of the proponents of yellow journalism seized upon it and called for war. By early May, the Spanish-American War had begun. The rise of yellow journalism helped to create a climate conducive to the outbreak of international conflict and the expansion of the U.S. influence overseas, but it did not by itself cause the war, in spite of Hearst's often quoted statement, "You furnished the pictures, I provided the war." Other factors played a greater role in leading the outbreak of war. The papers did not create anti-Spanish sentiments of thin air, nor did the publisher fabricate the events to which the U.S. public and politicians reacted so strongly. Moreover, influential figures such as Theodore Roosevelt led a drive for the U.S. overseas expansion that had been gaining strength since the 1880s. Nevertheless, yellow journalism of this period is significant to the history of the U.S. foreign relations, and that is central to the history of Spanish-American War, shows that the press had the power to capture the attention of a large readership and to influence public reaction. The international events, the dramatic style of yellow journalism, contributed to creating public support for the Spanish-American War, a war that would ultimately expand the global reach of the United States. And the United States of America is a corporation. It is not people, by the way, for the record, on the record, so you'll know that. All right. Examples of yellow journalism. And I got this from your dictionary. When I typed it up, looked it up on Google, so I have some proof, documentation. This is not just me talking. Yellow journalism uses sensationalism and exaggeration to attract reader. It is usually not well researched and often only tells one side of the story. It will sometimes have made up interviews or imaginary drawings. Yellow journalism, it is a noun, which is a person, place, or thing in your parts of speech, so you know what a noun is. Journalism that exploits, distorts, exaggerates the news to create sensation to attract readers. And the reference is the free dictionary. You go look it up for yourself online. This is not me just talking. The free dictionary, that's the reference point to where I found this. Went and looked it up myself. Today, it's not old, it's right now. In the era and time we in now, I went and looked it up myself. So you can go look it up too. Command knows not by being told. Don't believe nothing I say. Go look it up for yourself. Etymology dictionary. You can type in online, etymology dictionary or etymon online and go look what the word means. And this what I typed in yellow journalism, and this is what it gave me. Sensational chauvinism in the media, 1898 American English, from newspaper agitation for war with Spain. Now, didn't the first thing I just read to you talking about the war in Spain? This is a completely different document. Now I'm reading to you the etymology. I went to the etymology online dictionary and I'm reading two different documentations showing you right now yourself. But y'all talk about www.rvbaypublications.com and what they do and how they roll. This for the people, man. It's for the people. There's nothing wrong with what they have. The information they have is helping us. Knowledge of self, so we can be self-governed like the prophet told us to be. Carrying on. Now, as I was reading, one of the words caught my eyes, and that was chauvinism, which is spelled C-H-A-V-I-N-I-S-M. And notice that it has ism at the end, which is a suffix. You have a prefix and a suffix that make a word together, prefix being before and suffix being at the end of the word. Yeah, all right. And chauvinism, it is a noun, person, place, or thing, 1840 AD, exaggerated, blind, nationalism, patriotism, degenerated into a vice. So there were some words in here that I noticed. Blind, patriotism, degenerated. D means down, and then gen means beginning. That's what G-E-N means, beginning. And then D means down. So degenerated means down. And then patriotism is the opposite of dealing with the matriarch, a patriarch mind frame. And if you are a Moorish American national, a Moorish American allodial national, that is, you know we don't deal with that patriarch stuff at all, because that's cutting off the mother. Without the mother, we can't have a nation, because the mother is the nation. So now what I'm going to do is go to the Black's Law 3 and 4 and hit you with some law real quick to back up dealing with these few words. Black's Law 4th edition. I also underline vice, and I'm on page 1738, and it reads, vice, a fault, a defect, or imperfection. That's what the word vice says it means in the Black's Law Henry, 4th edition, on page 1738. That's what it say the definition means. This is a completely different. Now, that's not the same thing that I went online to type up. That's not the same thing. Now, I also have another definition as well. I noticed in here that it had the opposite of legitimate, which is illegitimate, saying that, basically letting you know that it's not lawful. So I'm gonna go back to the Black's Law, but I'm gonna go to the 3rd edition. See that? Black's Law, so you can see it for the record. Then you see that 1933 right there, completely different book again. Even though it's a Black's Law, it's a completely different edition. And I'm on page 1089. Legitimate, to make lawful, to confer legitimacy. Now, let's flip to illegitimate. What does that mean? I'm still in the 3rd. Illegitimate, which is the opposite of legitimate. That which is contrary to law. So, now what I want to do is read to you what the prophet said in the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Circle 7, Quran, divinely prepared by Noble Jew Ali. Creation, fall of man, not the whole thing, just a little bit, just so you can get an idea of where I'm coming from. Because this foolishness got to stop. Because I ain't got no hate in my heart, it's straight love with me. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice all day. But when you coming at the mothers, the sons of Allah ain't having that. We ain't having that. And once again, for the record on the record, let's get this straight. It is www.aribaypublications.com, not productions. Do you even know what pro and DUC mean? Let me help you out. Pro means forth or forward, and DUC means to lead. So forth and forward and to lead, that's what it means. So you'll know out of the productions that you saying, but that's not what that is. This is for the people, man. For the people. For themselves, so they can be self-governed. And we can be governed together as a dominant nation. I'm not going to use the word family because that actually means house of slaves. I say dominant nation. Like my brother Miz said, get your jurisdiction up. If you don't know what that word means, go look it up. Time never was when man was not. If life of a man at a time, any time began, a time would come when it would end. The thoughts of Allah cannot be circumscribed. No finite mind can comprehend things infinite. No finite mind can comprehend things infinite. No finite mind can comprehend things infinite. So again, my appellation is James L. for the record on the record. Stop the foolishness, man. All y'all, stop the foolishness. Stop playing with the Moorish Divine National Movement. Stop playing with the prophet. The prophet didn't play and we don't play. We follow the prophet. We doing what the prophet say do. What are you doing? Where's your literature? I just read some literature from you, from rvbaypublications.com, that helped me get a better understanding and understanding as being a man, as being a father, as being a son. Because really the mother is the father. Goes back to that matriarch and patriarch. Speaking of that, patriarch. It is a noun. Definition number 1, the male head of a family. Remember I told you family means house of slaves or a tribal line. Definition 2, a person regarded as the father or founder of an order, class, etc. All right, let's go to matriarch. Matriarch, also a noun. First definition, the female head of a family or a tribal line. Definition 2, a woman who is the founder or the dominant member of the community or group, meaning that no man can rise higher than the woman. Why? Because everybody comes from the womb. Uplift and follow humanity. If you looking on your 101s, man, you'll see right there that Prophet Noble Drew Ali is holding a woman, and from the womb, she's unconscious. You gotta wake her up. So what you doing is slandering the woman. That's against what he about. That's what the difference between patriarch and matriarch. So I'm a son of Allah, and I'm a represent. I represent for myself, and I represent for the dominant nation, the Moorish Divine National Movement. And if you're not following the prophet, you hurting yourself. You making yourself look like a fool. All y'all making yourselves look like a fool. Stop playing. Either you gonna walk upright or you gonna straight like that. And that's all I gotta say on that. Oh yeah, and I heard your rhymes. They suck. Get your frequency up. 5 on the left, 2 on the right, feet at a 45-degree angle, facing the east, where all light comes from. Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Amen. In Islam. I self-law master, what are you?